All right. I think I'm live according to you and checking my restream. What's going on? Facebook, Instagram on this one, on my other phone, Twitch, and YouTube, and Periscope. What's going on, everyone? Welcome. I can't speak right now. Apparently, if it's your first time seeing this stream, hey, what's up, Jonathan? Nice to see a friend hopping on here. Familiar Instagram handle. But if it's your first time seeing me or ever on this stream, it's probably because we don't stream a lot here. But anyways, my name is Emeroy. I am the co-founder and the guy who runs a company called Vision Paradox. We do social media marketing, or we're a full-service digital agency. A full-service digital agency that works with, as far as our repertoire, musicians and tech companies. So huge shout out to Jonathan Abalone, long time friend on Instagram. Make sure you follow him. He's a salesman. He's been giving me some tips here and there in regards to sales. And yeah, we've known each other since elementary school. So it's cool seeing the evolution of friends and people you know as time passes. So replay people, I hope you guys are enjoying this quick little intro. I'm going to try to get right into the meat and potatoes. I just wanted to provide some context real quick about who I am. And yeah, I'm rocking one of our clients' shirts, Festi. Make sure you check them out too. If you guys go to raves and festivals and whatnot, they're coming out with tech that allows you to find your friends without the use of any Wi-Fi. No need for what do you call it? No Wi-Fi, no signal, no Bluetooth, no anything. So and we've filmed their content, actually testing it in real life. So it's really cool. And they're designing it so it doesn't look like a ugly bulky thing here. So it's not an ugly bulky thing like on here. It's a wrist thing. It's not like an ugly watch, but they're trying to make it look like a fashion accessory that helps you find your friends. So all right, Jonathan. All right. Thanks, I appreciate you, Jonathan. I'll call you soon. Yeah, we need to hop on a call, and we need to sit down. When we need to set down when set a date when you're gonna hop on the podcast. This is like, hope you guys enjoyed my Father's Day mug that I got a couple years ago. Anyways, so I wanted to talk to you guys about the three platforms. This is the first time I'm actually using this live. 3 platforms I think that you guys want to pay attention to, like probably within the next 12 months, 18 months, simply because right now at this very moment, not Facebook, Instagram is the dominating social media platform, and that's cool. Everyone's trying to be an Instagram expert. Everyone's trying to be a fucking influencer. It's really kind of annoying, but more power to you. That's one of the beauty of the internet, is that it's allowed us to it's given us an opportunity to kind of try to be what we want to be, but at the same time, it's also made more people inauthentic in a sense, because especially on Instagram, people are trying to be to show their highlight reels of their life. So that because everyone's trying to PR themselves, and we get into this whole comparison trap. But either way, I think it's I'm going into I'm digressing here, but while that is great, a recent report I found from Social Media Today, and according to, I think, I'm trying not to talk while I'm looking away, from Trust Insights, Instagram engagement has dropped recently with brands and with influencers in general, and I think it's normal for any social media platform to start experiencing a dip. MySpace experienced it, Facebook experienced it, and it's part of the cycle. Eventually, something else is gonna, Jesus. So, eventually something else is gonna take over or take its place. Very much, unless Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg takes advantage and buys them out as well, or copies their exact feature. So one thing, so the three platforms I think that you guys got to pay attention to are, first one is LinkedIn. Okay, I'm just gonna write it down because it feels good for me to in case. LinkedIn, chicken scratch writing right now. Okay, pay attention to LinkedIn, especially if you're in the B2B space. If you're trying to sell product, not sell product. If you have a SaaS product, if you're trying to work with other businesses like Vision Paradox, we're B2B. We primarily work with tech companies or musicians, and they can the musicians would be more for Instagram, but for tech companies we would have to position ourselves on LinkedIn, because that's where the CEOs, the founders, the presidents, or people who are in the C suites would be. I think right now the organic reach and engagement is insanely high on there. Especially if you've watched any of our stuff on YouTube, the 3-2-1 technique, in terms of engaging, I think you're going to get a lot more attention, especially on your profile. And one of the things they're currently testing on LinkedIn right now is live, which is what I'm also streaming on. I think. Hopefully I said that on. If not, next time. But I think the engagement right now, or the organic reach right now, is exactly where Instagram and Facebook were in the beginning. Not in the beginning of Instagram, maybe 2012, 2013, 2014 Instagram. It's currently where you need to be, especially if you are someone who's in the B2B space trying to reach out to other businesses and trying to offer your sales services, trying to offer your social media services, or if you're a video production company, you might want to reach to someone who runs a real estate company, and then offer your free video, so to speak, on their first go around with you. Or another way to think about it, if you're going on Instagram, if you're a solo freelancer, DM, because I'm just trying to offer I'm bouncing back and forth, not going back to Instagram. If you're a freelance videographer on Instagram, DM a shit ton of artists, whether it's dancers, it's musicians, whoever. Offer your services like for probably one session or 2 sessions, whatever you feel is comfortable for you, and create a lot of content for them that they can use on social media. Same thing with people who are going to be using LinkedIn. Create that content, and I would really, going back into, we're still talking about video, really aim to push for video, because that's where I think the high level is right now, or it's more becoming the norm, especially if you pay attention on with the pattern of what Facebook and Instagram are trying to push. Facebook's trying to push Facebook Watch pushing for people to have original content on there, and then they're also going with the YouTube route as well, because if you have a certain amount of followers, you can likes on your page, you can get paid for AdSense on Facebook, much like YouTube. You can get some ad revenue from there, and much less. Again, same thing with video on Instagram TV. If they're trying to push for long form content on there. So yes, short content. I'm going like all over the place, guys. So I appreciate you guys trying to follow me. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm trying to keep. I'll do what I can to pay attention to the chats, but yeah, that's why going back to Instagram TV, that's why they're trying to push Instagram TV as well, for long form content. So going back to LinkedIn, create content on it, share as much as you can. In terms of how many times you should post a day, I would say minimum like once a day. But if for those of you who just want to taste it and get a little bit of a minimalist, I'll try it here once in a while, once a week. But I think it's like that's not enough to really reap to see any of the organic benefits from it. I'm gonna pop up my Facebook real quick so I can see anyone that's chatting here. So again, once a day would be great. 3 times a day, even better. If you can post like 5 times a day, even better. A tool that I think that would be great if you guys have the budget for it is something called Meet Edgar, that I've been posting consistently on LinkedIn for at least 3 to 4 times a day. In terms of timing, probably before lunch, twice before lunch, once after lunch, and once after work. So that way I'm constantly showcasing content. The only problem with Meet Edgar is that it doesn't allow you to share video content, or schedule video content. Okay, so that's LinkedIn kind of in a nutshell. Appreciate you guys hopping on here. This is very unscripted. I kind of like outlining my stuff before I talk, but trying to freestyle it much like my dancing. The next thing I think you guys got to pay attention to is, I think, and there's a lot of opinions about this, is TikTok. Okay, TikTok, formerly Musically. I think right now I think it overtook Instagram in terms of like the most downloaded social media platform. I think it's a lot of people think TikTok is just meant for kids, but guess what? Social media in general, Facebook was originally thought to be just for kids. So I think, well, one of the reasons how I view TikTok is like it's the combination of Snapchat and Instagram, and you don't have to worry about copywriting, and which is great for me, especially since I'm a dancer. And when I post, and the problem with Facebook and Instagram is like when I post some content that the whole copyright issue. I don't know what we're doing here. The whole copyright issue that I get. Sometimes my music is blocked. Sometimes my music is my video is taken down. So that's kind of an issue. And another, so when I share on TikTok, I generally don't have. I can choose the music that they offer there, which is a lot from different artists, and or I can just upload the original audio that was on that video, and no one's gonna, as far as I know at this moment, TikTok and everyone else, those music companies on there aren't gonna bat an eye. Another reason I like it so much is that it's a full screen, like vertical video. You can choose it to be that way. What I like about that is, unlike Instagram and Facebook, where you're competing on a news feed and scrolling, with TikTok, they still have a news feed, but instead of getting a little snippet, if you guys ever notice it, like when you see a piece of content, you're looking at a piece of content here, you see a little snippet of someone else's content here, you're essentially competing for someone's attention. But with TikTok, you have 100, almost like stories, it takes up 100% of the space. You're not competing with anyone, and they can swipe. They essentially swipe if they are losing interest in your video. Okay, it's much like, which is one of the reasons I think stories does so well, aside from it being raw, more authentic in a sense, and it creates a certain sense of urgency in terms of stories. It takes up the whole screen, which is one of the reasons the reasons I love TikTok. And I know the current demographic for TikTok is, I think teens and younger, like maybe 14, 15, 16, and then under 16 and under. It's a very, very, very young demographic. I think it's great if that is your demographic, especially for me in the dance scene. That would be a good place to showcase my dance choreography, or any of my dance freestyles, or any workshops if I ever decide to throw a workshop. That would be a good way to go about it. One of my favorite stories about TikTok is this one dentist company started creating a lot of TikToks to music, and kind of aiming to educate people about their dentistry, and that's how a lot of kids started wanting to go to that specific dentist because they saw her on TikTok. So that's one way to think about it. If you are, for me, again, going back to my dance career, if I'm trying to push my own personal workshop, I would need to be consistent on TikTok. I would need to engage with the community there, and then if I ever happen to be in their area, they would know me because they saw me on TikTok. Okay, that's off the top of the head, my thoughts on it, but definitely something to pay attention to, because I think the attention on it right now, if we're to draw a comparison, it's very similar to Instagram 2013 and 2014 in terms of growth, where it's a lot of people are using it, but it hasn't exactly penetrated in the mainstream yet. Now, I remember when I was on Instagram back in 2013, 2014, 2015, there was only 2 people talking about Instagram marketing, and this was only when Instagram allowed only 15-second videos and 30-second videos and a photo. They didn't have carousel stuff. Now, when a platform is saturated, when there's a shit ton of marketers saying, a lot of people saying Instagram growth hacks, how to grow your Instagram, and that's all people talk about. That's how you know the platforms become saturated, when there's a bunch of marketers fucking it up and saying how you can grow there. There's not a whole, there's some on LinkedIn. It's not like overly saturated in my opinion. There's still a handful of decent LinkedIn teachers. With TikTok, there's no one right now. There's no one talking about how to grow your TikTok, because the perception in terms of a lot of other people, the mainstream, so to speak, it's that it's still for kids. But if those kids eventually become adults, and then as adults, the TikTok might be their Facebook, as Facebook was to my generation. So just one thing to keep in mind. I think one more platform that you guys should pay attention to, okay, especially if you guys listen to podcasts, okay, is Anchor. Oh, hello, focus on me, phone. Anchor. Right here. Okay, so Anchor is, when I first joined it back in 2015, I don't know, I think it might be 2015. It was originally supposed to be like the Twitter, but the audio version of Twitter. What people would used to do is that, how people on Twitter would post a question and then people would reply. What people would do on Anchor is that they would post a question via audio, and there would be huge conversation with audio. What it's become now, look at this entrepreneur hand gesture right here. What it's become now essentially is an easy way to start podcasting. Like literally, you can like set up an account and start your podcast like that. No need for fancy equipment, and no need to sign yourself up on different websites. It'll distribute your stuff for you on different podcasting websites. It'll distribute it on iTunes. It'll distribute it on Spotify, on Stitcher, on wherever you listen to your podcasts. And I think that's great because it saves you time from having to figure out how to distribute your podcasts to begin with. And another reason why I think Anchor is worth paying attention to is, especially if you're someone who's been going like, hey Google, do this, whatever, hey Siri, or Alexa, or whatever. If you've been doing a lot of voice commands, or if you guys even pay attention to someone named Gary Vaynerchuk, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys in this audience, or anyone who knows anything about social media marketing are aware of Gary Vaynerchuk. I think, and I'm aligned with his belief that audio is the future, is I think is the next thing, is simply because it saves us time. I might even turn this whole episode that I'm filming right now into a podcast and just share it, because audio allows us to do things we can listen passively. We can work out and listen to a podcast. We can cook while listening to a podcast. Okay, you can work while listening to a podcast if you're able to split your attention that way. I don't think it's an effective way, but and the way I'm thinking about it, and especially if you're savvy, what we did with Vision Paradox with our podcast is that we created an Alexa skill out of it. I think it's an Alexa skill, so that way when people start doing more voice search, got it? Start doing more voice search. We want to be one of the earlier adapters and early searches that people find. So eventually, for example, when people say, hey Alexa, social media marketing tips, boom, and then that's where I think branding is going to be super important, because if you have, much like Google search, if you have very strong SEO, you're going to be the top result when people look for social media marketing. Top result. Okay, same thing is going to be when people do voice search. Alexa, look for social media marketing tips, and if your brand is strong, you're going to be the top result. Okay, if it isn't, then you're going to be essentially lost, because it's not going to be the first recommended. Then I'm trying to reel it back home, where people say look for social media marketing tips from a specific company. There is that way, like, hey Alexa, or what's another one, or hey Google, look for social media marketing tips from Vision Paradox. If they know your name, if they have become a fan of yours, then they'll add that to the search. But in terms of the general public, people are always going to start with a short tail search first of social media marketing tips. Boom, you want to be that first search. Same thing with you if you're a tech, a SaaS product or a tech company, for example, Festi. What would people search for that? for example, like, hey Alexa, how can I find my friends? How do I not lose my friends in a festival? And if Festi has done enough podcasts and done enough audio content on that, then they would pop up. Okay, so I think that's definitely something to pay attention to, especially if you want to try to reach your brand who don't have time for video like this, who don't have time to watch streaming videos, or even just or who are just trying to avoid Instagram because it's become, there's a whole like stigma of influencers and whatnot. I think there's definitely, you can provide a lot of value in terms of audio, because it's almost like like listening to someone just unload on you, and someone just sharing the information, and then hopefully, excuse me, and it's almost like being a fly on the wall, listening on someone's thoughts out loud, or someone's conversation if they're interviewing someone. So those are definitely the three platforms I think you guys are gonna need to pay attention to. If you guys got any other platforms that you guys are paying attention to, like Vero. I think Vero was supposed Instagram killer, but it's still around. I don't know how it's been with growth. Ironically, one of our clients contacted us through Vero, which is, I think, really cool. Which is an example of don't discount a social media platform just because you don't like it or you've never tried it. Taste everything, okay? See how it works for you. Pay attention to how other people are using it, and then leverage what you've observed, and then implement it onto your own stuff. Okay, so that's it. The three platforms that I think you guys got to pay attention to. Okay, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Anchor. I wanted to do that. That's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this 20-minute stream. If you guys got any questions, let me know. Comments down below. On Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram Live, wherever you guys are. I'm streaming this everywhere, so there's gonna be a lot of conversation happening. So if you guys like this, let me know. Bye. Awkward goodbyes now.